here on stream. So basically, if you didn't know or haven't seen, because it was literally just announced this morning, Radish Fiction, which is a popular romance web novel app, is sunsetting. It officially closes December 31st. So all of the stories on there are going to stay up there for the rest of the year. But after that, everything's getting deleted. So if you have bought stories on the site, if you're a writer for the site, after December 31st of this year, the app is being deleted. All of the stories will be gone. You won't be able to read them anymore. Which, of course, sucks for everyone involved. As some of you know, that's where all of my paid stories are, is on Radish. So this very much affects me. So yeah, let me pull up. Yeah, it really, really sucks because there's also people who literally just debuted stories like barely 2 weeks ago and just debuted a story on Radish. And now they're finding out that instead of being a long-term investment, it's literally ending in 6 months. And the FAQ they sent out to writers through the writers portal was dismal. Yeah, pretty much all the original FAQ they sent out this morning said was, hey, you'll still get paid, but we're shutting down. And it's like, okay, but there's so many other questions because a lot of us were exclusive through Radish. So it's like, okay, so are we allowed to start cross-posting our stories now? Are we being held to the exclusivity contract? Like, how does this affect people who were under contract to move stories around? Like, Radish and Tapas are two different sites, but they do have the same parent company. So it's very stressful because I was under consideration for two different stories. And now I don't know what's happening with that. And it's like worst time to do the announcement because it's the day before the 4th of July. So like, I have no chance of getting an answer from Tapas until Monday. So I don't know what to do with my stories. I can't tell you, especially for you, Weeb, because I know you were reading it over there. I did post the ending of Reborn as the Demon Emperor's heir. I also added 2 buffer chapters. So all of those chapters are now available for wait for unlock. So you don't have to spend any coins to finish reading it. I'm not going to be adding the side stories that I'm writing for it. I will wait to see if the story gets put on Tapas Premium. And that's where the side stories will come out, I guess. And if it doesn't get accepted to Tapas Premium because of all of this, then I will add it to Tapas Community. And it'll just come out a second time for free, I guess. I don't know really what else to do, honestly. It's very upsetting. Thank you. It's very upsetting. It's very stressful. Because like I said, the original FAQ, like I can bring it up and show it to you guys because it was dismal. All right. So now you guys can see probably not all that well. I will try to zoom in a bit. So now you can see this is what they sent us, which it says, when will my last payment be? I want to archive my work. Will people be able to purchase episodes? I have a question not covered here. This was all they gave us this morning. This was all we had to go off of. This was it. Like nothing else. Which again is like, all things considered, is super stressful. Because this says nothing about the exclusivity contract. This says nothing about like reader coins or anything. It says nothing about if your if you don't reach the minimum payout, are you still going to get paid out? Like, none of that is here. So it's just like, okay, thanks for nothing, because this doesn't answer anything. And so it's like one of those things where it's just like, why? And then I sent an email, because again, my biggest concern is I write these stories for you guys. The whole point is I want to share them with you guys. So it's just like, I wanted to know what my options were for reposting the story somewhere else. So I sent an email asking about that, and they sent me a more updated FAQ, which again, this is still what's available on for writers. So I'm guessing if you didn't email them to get the updated FAQ, you still don't have access to it, which again is not great. Because it's just like, again, not everyone's going to email, but I decided of my own volition to post the updated FAQ to Reddit, which again, the link is in the pinned message. But I posted the FAQ that was emailed to me. So I'll go over some of the more key points here. So for the readers, why are you closing? Their answer is, it was a very difficult business decision that we reached after considering both business and market factors. So I still have coins left. What is going to happen to them? You'll be able to use your coins through 12/30/31 to purchase any remaining episode you'd like to unlock. You'll still be able to purchase episodes until December 31st. They said they are planning to restrict the purchase of coins, but they have not said when. So as of right now, there is no restriction. Of course, because Tapas is download only, is read only, you cannot download the stories you have paid for. You will just lose access to them. So it's on us authors to try and make the stories available to you. Which sucks, because then, again, we're just finding out about this too. And Radish's rules is just, it's on us. And it says, can I transfer my reading history over to Tapas? You cannot. Even if the story is up on both sites, they are completely separate entities. So there is no transferring. If you are like season 6 on Radish, but you just started on Tapas, you can't restart season 6 on Tapas. You will have to pay again and read all the way ahead again. Does that suck? Yes. Do I hope that they'll try to offer something for readers? Yes. Yeah. It's a huge issue. Like, this is a huge issue, especially when some stories are available on both, because it's not fair. It's not readers' fault that Radish is getting shut down. It is not the writer's fault that Radish is getting shut down. Again, this is what they sent us this morning. This tells us nothing. I had to ask to get access to this more in-depth information, and this is not available publicly. As far as I can see, they have not posted this more detailed FAQ anywhere, which is ridiculous. But if the story is also on Tapas, no, you cannot transfer your reading history over to Tapas. You have to restart the story. I'm hoping maybe Tapas will have a way for people to, or maybe the parent company will find a way for people to migrate accounts over so that you can get, like, I don't know, bonus ink for catching back up or something. But there will be no refunds. The app will not function after December 31st. And of course, you can email everything else to support, which is also what they told us. So for writers, I know some writers were concerned about, would you still get paid out if your earnings are under 50 at the end of the year? Their answer is yes. If you earned anything through Radish, you will still get paid out. Now, considering that readers can't download the stories they paid for and can't transfer progress, even if your story is on Tapas, don't count on making much. I've already been losing subs all day. I don't blame people for that at all. I think I have some coins left on Radish. I'm pretty much planning to spend them on an author of my friend of mine who debuted. And then I'm not buying anymore either, because why? So, if you're a writer for Radish, I would not count on anyone buying new episodes. I would not count on updating episodes. If you have Wait for Unlock, I would finish the story if you can. That's what I chose to do. But considering it really sucks for readers, I would not expect anyone to continue purchasing episodes. In fact, all of my stories are on the minimum 1 hour wait. Only the last 2 episodes are withheld. If I could, I would go back to all of my completed stories and add 2 buffer chapters so that all of the chapters would be available for free. But I can't do that. I did do that for Reborn, though. So you can read the entirety of Reborn for free. You do have to wait an hour between chapters, but you can still read it for free now. And like I said, if it gets picked up by Tapas Premium, then I will put the side stories there. If it does not, I will put it on Tapas Community. But I'm waiting because I was already talking to Tapas about moving stories over. So at the moment, I'm waiting to see what happens with that before I just dump the stories on Community. But as far as other Radish authors may be concerned, we are completely released from the exclusivity clause. So usually when you publish and you say you're going to be exclusive for to Radish for 6 months, that's gone. If you want to start posting your story somewhere else today, you can. You will still earn money through Radish as long as the story is there. But you can start posting your story somewhere else now. You do not have to wait. I am choosing to, with at least the 2 stories that I was talking to Tapas about. Otherwise, I will likely start cleaning up some of my other stories and start posting them. But we're freed from the exclusivity clause, which was my biggest concern. We are completely free to start posting the story wherever we want. So I know that was a big factor people were worried about, but like I said, we're freed from it. It is not a concern anymore. So, as far as where to go, for people who want to still have premium stories, that's a little bit harder because of there just aren't very many sites for premium web novels, and that's the truth. There's Web Novel, which I would not recommend in a million years. I wrote for them 3 years ago, and I have heard things have gotten better, but also that they haven't changed at all. So I do not recommend Web Novel at all, and I never will. I know Wattpad has a premium program. There are some other, I know Tapas has their premium program, but it's hard to get into. And so I can't really recommend that either. It's stressful and hard to say, especially with everything going on. So I would say that, Royal Road is a good place to start. It's free only, but there are readers there, and usually they will tip you. I know some people have been talking about doing like Patreon or Ko-Fi type things. So, but yeah, as far as like where to put your stories, it's hard to say where at this point, because Dream recently got shut down. There's not a lot of, Kindle, Vella got shut down too. There's not a lot of places for premium web novels anymore. There just isn't. Tapas is kind of like the last place, and I can say they push their comics way more than novels. So personally, I would say offer the story for free. Maybe have paid extras on like a Patreon or a Ko-Fi. Or, I mean, if you want to, you can always try and get into paid programs, but I think you would be better letting your community know what's going on, letting them know what you plan to do, and going from there. For my Radish readers, I will likely be cleaning up the stories because, as some of you know, there are extra chapters that I didn't post to Radish. So I will likely be cleaning up the stories I have and making PDFs available through my Ko-Fi for all of my Radish readers to download. Or just for anyone who wants them. Honestly. Because I think that's more fair. You guys already paid to read these stories. You deserve to keep your access to them. And I want to give you that access in the most fair way I can. So that's pretty much my plan. Is I'm going to clean them up, add all the extras back in, and put it as a PDF on my Ko-Fi for as you want. Pay whatever you want for it. So that you guys can have access to those. Because you already paid for the chapters. And you deserve to keep access to them. And that would be my suggestion to Radish authors. But every author is going to do what they want to do. I don't have any control over that. So, like I said, we were blindsided just as much as you guys were. Literally, we got no information. The updated FAQ I posted is the most information we have, and it still doesn't answer everything. And it's still not great answers, honestly. Because it doesn't address the biggest issue, which is this is not fair for readers. But like I said, we're freed from the exclusivity. So whatever a Radish author does is their choice. We are completely freed from the exclusivity contract. And I have 2 stories that may be on Tapas Premium, may not. I'm not sure if I'm going to put the others on Community. Because one of them, it was my worst performing story on Radish. And I really don't feel like cleaning it up. But the other one I might put on Tapas Community. Because it performed semi-decently. And I think you guys would like it. And there's another... I now get to move my favorite story over. Which is fun. But I'm not going to, force you guys to pay for them again unless you want to. Because to me, that's just not fair. You already paid for the story once. And this came out of the blue for us. Apparently, it was not out of the blue behind the scenes. So yeah, for me, I am going to make PDFs for you guys and put them available on Ko-Fi. I'll announce it on all of my socials. So Instagram, Blue Sky, Tumblr, no matter where you follow me, I will post the link to my Ko-Fi when those PDFs go up.